Yeah. What's going on? Beatdown Brown, Handsome Mandela. Another handsome beatdown for you right now. How you feeling, brother?
Man, fresh like produce at the Whole Foods market, baby. What's happening?
What's happening? I'm tripping. I just realized what your subtext was. Live from Stinkies by the motherfucking bridge. Hell
Yeah, buddy. I had to bring it back. I had to bring it back.
yeah. Wow. Th- One day we have to figure out how to be able to you and Justin when y'all sat up on deeper dives and y'all went and broke some Youngstown stories out. Y'all did such an excellent job of being able to tell the story and protect the guilty and the innocent. When y'all was telling them, yeah, we gonna have to recap some stuff because yeah, that right there that night was wild,
Oh
man.
shoot, yo, and I totally forgot about that night too when I was bringing it up. But you know what, that needs to be told by like a whole like group of us. We legit need to bring Arrow in on that one too, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Answer a question for me, and I'm
What's
gonna
up?
try hard today. Which car were you riding in that night?
Might have been the van.
No, I didn't drive that night. I wrote well, it depended on which night for Stinkies because that night was that the night where we had the show that got canceled and then we just wound up kicking it
Yeah,
around the
it
park.
was that. It was that night, bro. It was that
Okay.
night. It was that night.
So were you riding in the first car or the second car? Because um a certain producer of ours was driving one car and then a certain artist of ours was driving the other car.
I want to say the artist car.
Oh, see, you as the car that almost bashed.
Artist.
Oh shit. Oh.
Oh man,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't have we didn't have many memorable nights driving to that city.
that one was crazy because it's like we was all sober that night and almost had like 4 accidents.
That part.
That was wild.
That part. That
Yeah,
part.
yeah, we gotta do a recap show too because yeah,
Oh, definitely.
we just got to get our story straight. So how, like I said, we can protect the innocent and the guilty then again too.
That part.
Because boy, oh boy, yeah, Stinky's by the motherfucking bridge, and, and it's they changed the name, but it's still there.
Word.
Yeah, I took about like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I took my wife by there. And it was
Ooh.
hilarious because I was like, "Yeah, we gonna park on this side on purpose." It's like, "Why?" I was like, "Cause we gotta walk over because I want to see if something is still here."
Right. Right. That's
Oh,
funny as shit, yo.
wow!
Man, that's funny as hell.
All right, we done recap. We'll recap, but we gonna go and flip it in. Actually, get the business here. So we've been getting back together and doing some breakdowns. We got stuff going on. We didn't discuss our favorite diss tracks, but going with especially now with the new pettiness that's going on post beef right now. I was looking at Drake and I watched this one show and I should have kept their name to give them their props, but they brought up something interesting and they actually dived back a little bit deeper than I did. But I've been talking with my homie at work, and then I was talking with you. I was like, you know what? What's funny about this situation? Because everybody, because of the Ellie took as it stands right now, everybody's like, oh, Drake is just like Ja Rule with the way he got dismantled. I was like, yeah, but that wasn't the first Drake because of the reach, and that's a real. And then you and I broke down, and looked at it, and I don't know. You want to dive into the fact that who we basically have seen of this stature, who went through this one, took a magnificent L, and basically we'll try and support. We'll try and show our work on this one.
Yeah, no doubt. But as far as they saying Ja Rule, nah, because one, that Ja Rule, that's a real beef. First off, that's not just music, that's
Hmm.
actual beef. And then you go and look at what all transpired from that now behind the scenes. Lightweight 50 was basically defending himself on that shit because they was trying to roadblock and gatekeep him from even getting into the industry off rip. So nah, bro, I wouldn't even say Ja Rule on that one. But right now, we talking about your man, the homie, the big homie, Hove. Shout out to Hove because he's still a legend and one of the illest to ever
Yeah.
do this. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about that was at the time he was untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody coming for this dude at all.
And
And
if you're coming from for him, you were getting quickly dispatched, and it never went into anything fully.
at all. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, shoot, even I mean to even break down how that even started. That beef was basically started like as far as like the public stuff was going on. That was started by one of Bleak's homies. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, they said from that Nostradamus when he was like, "You want a ball till you fall, I can help you with that. You want
Mhm.
lead, I can let one melt in your hat." It was like, "Yo, he talking about you." And Bleak being on what Bleak be being on at that time, he was like, "Oh, word!" Like he was like, "Man, nigga, everybody wear hats, bro." He couldn't been talking about anybody but me being on my bullshit. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to go at it." And Hope was like, nah, man, let me handle this one. Cause I mean, it was already the subliminals was being already made. And the thing was, it was one of those if you know, you know. And a
Mhm.
lot of us did not know because shit, from what I understand, the opening bars to Nas's The Message was a subliminal shot at Jay. I know that shit.
Nah.
So, um, but like you said, anybody that came at Jay, nope, out of here. Ain't nobody, wasn't nothing getting handled. So he was basically not just, he was untouchable. And
And
he knew that shit.
and it was definitely a case of, you know what I'm saying? It was always that thing of like, okay, who's the king of New York? That was the thing at the time, Biggie J or Nas. And so that's where you get your big three comparisons. And Jay was, and strangely enough, despite kept continuing to run stuff going through all of this beef, but he took that major L. The one major difference is Jay's pen is unquestioned. It goes on. But what's funny is we talk about all the time and we look at all the time with this, where we're throwing these comparisons at. One first thing is the large machine behind. And also, besides the large machine behind, the greatness of him on his platform in it as a whole. So
Mhm.
looking at both these scenarios and the pettiness too, because that plays a whole big thing. It's like, okay, with the Drake scenario, we're looking at, all right, why is everybody taking shots at Drake? Why are people taking shots at Jay? Because they're both petty as shit, and they play those games. The other thing that pops up, and some of them is behind the scenes, some of them is outright. When we go to Jay, the bad business practices, because the other show brought up and compared to the original Drake. And it's funny that they were able to squash it, because I'm gonna bring that up here in a little bit, because that even reigns supreme too. But it's like, okay, Nas, besides the Uchiwali era and all like that, was for the most part an underground king, and it was mainly critical acclaim. So I'm not gonna totally give him the Kendrick run of things, but it wound up for a victory statement. He wound up playing the Kendrick avatar in this. He's the critically lauded, always heralded. He's looked at and studied in classes more so than just being, oh, he a beast and he runs the radio. It's more so like, oh, nah, did you hear what he said? Listen to the lyrics. I gave you power. Look where he was speaking from, and yada, yada, yada. Not necessarily a cat that's going to punchline you to death, but he's a cat with his tonality, his metaphors, and everything else. He's going to take you into a visual journey.
Right.
The only difference going from now to then is the fact of the matter is Kendrick had better beat selection, but we ain't gonna go there on Nas. I'm gonna leave him alone. But
He done redeemed himself with this six album joint that he just
yeah,
dropped. So,
Hit Boy really made that happen.
for sure.
Hit Boy really made that happen because yeah, the Nas scenarios with the beats, honestly, I think that's one reason why Nas didn't have the ability to really take over. Haha, see what I did there? But
Mm,
really take over everything is because you would have projects where it's like, what's up with the tracks, man, or whatever. But the machine behind Hove, and that was pre even him running Def Jam. Once he was running Def Jam, it was over. There was no taking him out of his place. And I think that's one of the, with as nasty as Ether was and as subpar, because this even goes to the same thing battle wise, coming back with Super Ugly, just like that, Heart Part 6, and just like, okay, dog, nice try, but the only thing is, and even having to wave the white flag afterwards. Drake doing it himself and saying, this is a good exercise. I'm a bow out. It's just going on too much. And Jay's mom basically being like, you said what on the track? No. You did what on the track? No. All of this is wild with how everything ran during that whole scenario. It was quite crazy. But yeah, Jay definitely shines as the avatar of King Petty, um, somebody who definitely, I won't say purposely at times stuff was purposeful, but definitely had no problem with rubbing people the wrong way and stepping on who he needed to step on to get where he was going. And
Definitely.
that's what caused the friction to go down. And yeah, you even stated the other thing too is, oh, I'm taking everything as a shot. He didn't allow certain stuff to stay hip hop. Like you hear Royce, you hear Big Crit, and other people after the Control verse. They're up there's like, why wouldn't you say you the greatest motherfucker? Why wouldn't you say that you gonna smash everybody out? It was funny. He did the Control verse, and then I want to say right after the Control verse, he went and did Ninth Train. No, no, the One Train with everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like so,
Mhm.
and that was the one thing Drake couldn't get. He's up there's like, oh yeah, cats talk all this trash, and then when they see me, it's all love.
Bro,
Because
this is
it's hip
hip
hop.
hop. It's a competitive sport.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's funny. Hip hop, especially nowadays, is kind of like how the NBA is nowadays. Back in the days, NBA, hell, to the fact that you still have the fact that Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas don't talk. Magic and Isaiah didn't talk for how long? And the beefs went on. Now you see Steph Curry and not even counting Dream Team shit, but you got Steph Curry and LeBron up there literally dapping each other up and hanging out at golf tournaments and crap. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron and Draymond is cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? And the shit they talk on the daggone court to each other. And then I just heard LeBron talking about, yo, like, yeah, we was turned up at Draymond's wedding. So
Yeah, it's not the same. It's seriously not the same. So with somebody like Drake up there, like, oh yeah, he talked all that trash and it was all lovely and stuff. It's hip hop, fool. I'm supposed to do that. Battle rappers do it all the time. We'll up there literally have the worst gun bars and mama and auntie bars and everything else, and then be like, oh, that cat cool. He fire. He
yeah,
spit.
yeah, yeah.
Like, dog, you literally said you was going to shoot through the stroller, dog. If I see you with your son, to make sure another one don't pop up. Like, yeah, that was hip hop. That was a battle. So it's like cats getting in their feelings about stuff. That's definitely a Jay characteristic where he carries that on too. But anything else you want to weigh on that before I throw the monkey wrench in the whole thing?
Yeah, so like you were saying, as far as like the getting in your feelings and stuff, again, hip hop is a competitive sport. And Jay basically said that he was the Michael Jordan of rap at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? Especially around the time when he came out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? And what would Michael Jordan do? Michael Jordan would get into these competitive modes where he would make up fake rivalries with people to score all these ill points and go off in a game on somebody. But
Mhm.
he left it on the court. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing with hip hop. You leave the stuff in the studio, on the track, or on the stage. You know what I'm saying? You don't take it with you, don't keep it with you. Like I just saw somewhere it was a saying that said, get out of your feelings. Ain't no money in there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no money in there. So I mean, like, again, what you saying, like Drake standing his feelings about this. Oh, and the thing is, dude came from being an actor. So out of everybody, you would think that he would be the main one to catch on to that notion. Like, yo, this is not really what it is. Especially in the industry that you're coming from, you should see that the music industry and the acting industry is basically adjacent, or with actors wanting to be rappers and rappers wanting to be actors, it's more melting together. So you of all people should fit into the same thing, or if you on this pettiness thing, you should be able to play the game a whole lot better than what you're playing into. And as far as the petty thing goes, even with Jay, I've seen him say this himself. He was like, he admits it's petty. He will admit it's petty. I give him that. I
Mm-hmm.
went the concert I went to, the 444 tour,
Okay.
the last song he did, because they were saying like, oh yeah, they're saying that these concerts they're not selling as well as like he would hope they would. Now I went to the one down here at the American Airlines. I just so happened to catch it. Great show. Great
Mm-hmm.
fucking show. I'm so glad I went. And the shit was sold out. So I don't know what they were talking about. In the last song, he was like, yeah, I want everybody to hold their cell phone lights in the air. You know what I'm saying? Hold them high, light them up. He was like, yeah, this looks pretty packed for arena not to be sold out that well. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm petty. So he'll admit that he's petty. So I give him
Absolutely.
that. So if you're gonna live in your truth, live in your truth. You know what I'm saying? At least be honest with it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like those characteristics and stuff in this game, it does not pay to be in your feelings. It is a competitive sport. And the thing is, too, the climate has changed, but at the same time, you don't gotta live by those standards at the time of the climate change. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it is what it is. Go ahead and drop what you're gonna drop on.
All right. What homeboy threw out there for who the original Drake was? And I was like, oh shit, because the parallels of career, even though this would be a best case scenario for Drake if this is the parallels of career. And once again, this is no disrespect to the person that they brought up because it's once again another prolific pen, but it matches all too fucking well. He's like, yo, the original Petty King, who is known for just being in his feelings and starting just fucked up beefs out of nowhere. LL, man. LL Cool J. And as up there's like the parallels are crazy because it's like the fact that he would flip pop so heavy, and it was later. What third album was? Yeah, he was doing shorty tracks on every album, but everybody was doing shorty tracks on every album. You
But
know,
he was the king of that shit,
he
bro.
was
He started that trend, bro. Wasn't nobody thinking about no shorty track until I Need Love.
no, and understand. I Need Love was the gold standard as far as oh, we doing chick tracks.
I mean, hold up though. Not just that, bro. Think about it. He was the dude that you had to. He was the quintessential person that you had to. He was the first hip hop heartthrob for females, bro.
And that's why I say they match up.
That
They match
ass.
up right there
That
because like,
ass.
all right, homeboy that literally went to the point of, you know what? It's great that I can spit. It's great that cats feel I can spit, but that's where I want to go.
I mean,
And
but at the same time, his pen is unmatched.
oh, absolutely. But if you want to talk about Petty, the fact that he got on
Bro.
the headbanger and dissed EPMD on the headbanger. Yeah, he dissed EPMD on their own cut. And it's like, oh, this cat is petty. Like he would do shit like that to the point of where Eric had to turn back around after they went and reviewed the track. It was up there like, yo, should we do something about this? And him and Parrish sat down. I was like, it ain't even really worth it, man. It's a hot track, and we
That'll
know it
help.
more
That'll
so
help.
than
That'll help us out.
yeah. It's up there. It's like, all right, we still got the verse out of it, and you know what? We know it. And the beef with Ice T, the beef with Hammer, and going at it, and I really feel like the beef with Hammer was that threatened the status because Hammer was huge when it was like he ain't had no beef with NWA. You know what I'm saying? LL. You know what I'm saying? When NWA was on their come up or whatever like that. And not going there and be like, oh, he ain't wanted with no gangsters. Because besides Easy, NWA wasn't really gangsters like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And shit.
Easy was the one that was in all the suspect stuff and was
And like
the
we said last episode, Hammer was a motherfucking gangster on if you really want to go there.
yeah. And so why you would because you were happy going after the dancing dude and figure that's what it is. And I would love to hear what dividends that paid on the back end as far as we know what that did to Redman going after Hammer. We know what that did to Tribe Called Quest Tribe Called Quest and affiliates going after Hammer. We know what happened to Third Base going after Hammer. I'd be curious if that what that did to L, or was L even going to the West Coast during that time? Because I don't know what his touring schedule was like
Yeah, but you
back
got to
then.
think though too. You still got to think though. At that time, he was on his don't call it a comeback, but it
Yeah,
was still a comeback. But he was still him. He was still on that heartthrob shit, but he was still considered a hard artist who had a big machine behind him. He wasn't selling the numbers that Hammer was selling and was starting to dabble into acting, but he was still known as that dude.
yeah. During the well, let's see, Break of Dawn and all like that was the album before, correct? That was before
That
Mama
was
Said Knock You Out. That
that
was
was
Walking with
that
a
was
Panther,
that was
right?
no, that was on Mama Said
That was
Knock
on
You
Mama
Out.
Said Knock You Out.
It was right after the Jingling Baby remix.
Okay, so still my thing about it is like all right, Third Base was in the height of their powers and under Rush associated labels, and had to get the hell up out of Cali. Redman was a Def Jam artist, had to get up out of Cali. You know what I'm saying?
But
Russ couldn't protect him. I'm like,
yeah,
what's going?
but at the same time, he was you gotta think though too though. I mean, that was they were at the height of their game, but LL was the commodity. They was basically riding under LL's coattails. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You not,
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, I feel what you're saying, definitely. But it was like, okay, you got like Big Brother, and then you got the little brother and little badass cousins.
And there's the little badass cousins. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. It's just wild. But yeah, the whole pop run, the whole he can get down, he can get down with his stuff. It was just a cat that's constantly in his feelings to be on top and be considered the heat rocker during everything. It's wild for me to see L go through what L went through during that time. And then later on, of course, the most infamous was in, like I said, going through it with Ice-T, even because once again, going back to Break of Dawn and everything else, of course, him with Kool Mo D and Kool Mo D saying, yo, you stole my style. That's why you even sound like how you sound. And him going crazy on that with Jack the Ripper and everything else. It's definitely, it was all Mike Petty, but he was definitely a petty king. And then the most petty movement of one, getting X to change his, getting excuse me, getting you know what I'm talking about,
Cannabis.
getting Cannabis to change his verse, and then still dissing him on the track. Now, Cannabis,
that was what did they call that shit? Shoot. Oh damn. It's gonna come to me, but that was like super gangster. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm gonna get the reason why I'm even pissed at you. I got you to get rid of, but I'm still going to throw shots at you. that was that was crazy. Now, the one thing I'll say in that is Cannabis, after they had the conversation, could have left it with the fact of, hey man, we're gonna do another song together, we'll squash it, everything will be cool. Homeboy shouldn't have got the battery in his back, because that definitely did just murder his career.
Boy, did it.
Which I still say, is if you want to talk about does everybody in your camp actually work for me? The job that Wyclef did on that Cannabis album, yeah, it's like, Clef, was you actually working for LL on this one? Because that album was awful.
That was the first album I returned to CD Warehouse.
Oh damn! Seriously?
Dead ass.
Uh, that was one of my first during
Dead ass.
during the height of, and we're not going to lie, we're not old heads enough where we lie and act like there was always good music out, nothing but good music
No,
out.
it was trash back then too.
There was trash music out then, but that was the first CD where I had to take it on the chin. Like I remember I left class early to run the Music Oasis. Yeah, I went there to run the Music Oasis and go cop that joint. And I was up there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be banging this all day. I'm glad it wasn't a cassette, man. That was the
only
CD.
time only time I did that was for Wu-Tang Forever, and I legit failed a class for that.
Oh man.
But it was worth it.
Man, Wu-Tang Forever was something different, man. Wu-Tang Forever, shit. We was up there on the block banging that on Idlewood, what, for like a week straight? What, nothing but the double disc going?
Idlewood and Philadelphia.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was, but yeah, that Can I Bust album.
Oh my
boy,
bro. And look, the reason why I took it back was because all the songs I liked were already on Clue tapes and I had already heard them. So it was like, there's no reason for me to even keep this shit.
That shit was bad.
Oh
That
my goodness, man.
that shit was bad, and that was I really feel bad for homeboy and what happened there. But yeah, that's the opinion right there. It's like the first one was actually LL. That was the first Drake, man, with
I
the
mean,
pop
and
appeal, going to the pop appeal and everything else, going for that heartthrob status more so than anything else.
no, dead ass. You can't argue with facts on that one. And like my thing is, like with Hammer, I think that was just pure ego because again, at the time, LL had the hardcore persona.
Mm-hmm.
Because you also got to take into consideration that at the same time, they used to clown DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince for being too soft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you have Hammer, the same dude with the image, again, image, because he didn't cuss. He was promoting positivity and he danced his ass off with them parachute pants. You know what I'm saying? So you got this dude that has that image that's coming in on a hardcore MC's territory, stealing his quote unquote thunder.
And he was like people talk slick about Hammer, but understand Hammer was Hammer was a movement. And we ain't talking about pumps and the bump and all that stuff, all that unfortunate stuff that came after.
That was jumping the shark. But
Yeah.
that video, minus him, again, minus him,
Mm-hmm.
them women, shut.
Dog. It, his stage show. You want to talk about a
It's,
crazy ass stage show? You
bruh.
want to talk about because we saw where the fuck did we see? I want to say we saw Hammer in Philly, and that was a shorty. And I want to say that was either right at the beginning. It can't touch this, or the Feel My Power run. Like he didn't have the full 5,000 people on stage thing, but it was still the
That
crew
was
was
probably
excessive.
I was probably transitioning from the let's get it started into the can't touch this era. It was
Yeah,
probably transition.
dog. If you want to talk about a spot that went nuts, like absolutely nuts, like he put it down, stage show crazy. Yeah.
Yo, I just thought about that shit, son.
Okay.
Yo, I listen.
Okay.
It's probably where the beef came from. Remember, remember that let's get it started video.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how hard that video was.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, now remember how okay that shit looked like legit like somebody just taped this cat in a club or in somebody's basement. Like somebody took a video camera and just
Right.
recorded him and somebody going off in somebody's basement.
Right.
Okay, to the whole polished, totally polished Hollywood look of you can't touch this, right?
Right.
Okay, now then again, it looked more polished than turn this mother out. But we're gonna go back
Right.
to let's get it started.
Right.
What did he have on the let's get started video, bruh?
Damn. You gonna make me look.
The nigga had on a troop suit.
Oh shit. There you have it. Yeah, he fucking with your sponsorships.
That nigga had on a troop suit, killing that shit, son.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably where it could have stemmed from. It was a nigga, why can't I move in a troop suit like this?
Exactly. And I will have to give here goes the crazy part with all three paired off together. So when you do LJ and more so L straight to Jake, but straight to Drake, but LJ Drake. Besides, like you said, they're the commodities. They're the biggest in the game. Um, even in the case of going directly L to Drake, the biggest performers in the game at the time. Because that's the one thing you could never take from L. Also, L puts on a hell of a show.
Oh yeah, no
He
doubt,
he does his thing.
no doubt.
But Jay, because he's so stiff, Like the hits are what speaks for him. You know what I'm saying? And where I will go there with the comparisons between Drake and Jay too also. We hate to admit it because we love the dude, but Jay is a colonizer too. It's just that he's of the culture, so we let it ride. But come on, man. You was running around and hopping on Ha, doing gotta stay blowed and everything else. It's like, dog,
Yeah, but
you
the thing is, though, it's like
go
when
ahead, give him the
Jay
J pass. I know we giving him the J
when
pass.
Jay hop on that shit, you be like, "Ooh, that shit is fire, though." You be like, when Jay hop on that shit, you be like, "Yeah, but did you hear that verse?" And he'd be like, "Ooh, like I mean, let's just be real. There's not too many Jay tracks. There's not too many tracks that Jay would hop on that Jay don't come off of. You know what I'm saying?"
Mm-hmm.
And but here's the thing though. There's not too many tracks that Jay will hop on that the artist that he hopped on with don't rise. There's only a select few that might not do shit afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here goes the whole thing because the J stimulus pack was a real thing, okay? But also the J stimulus pack after a while started turning into the J relevance pack. And that's where I say look at the Drake thing. The Drake stimulus pack was definitely a thing at one point, but it was definitely let me be seeing the picture so I can keep running around and change personas and keep it running or whatever. And that's the only thing I'm saying is where it's kind of shines the same way with Jay. The one crazy thing of now is Jay has picked his battles according to not popping out. We don't have a full Jay album coming out next month or next year or possibly the year after.
Right.
He could care less. He's got other business ventures and stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is so when he pops up, it's truly, oh man, I got a J verse. It's not Jay is hopping on now in order to get his shine back up and let y'all know he still got it. It's more so a case of, yo, I got it because I got a J verse. That's where, like I said, you get that disintegration pattern from everybody going from, like I said, going from L, going to J. I blend in jaw there. I get what you're saying about the back end things or whatever with the jaw thing, but
Mm-hmm.
even the jaw thing, jaw is a little bit different because he didn't go run particularly anywhere else outside of his lane. It was the jaw stimulus pack of you can come get on a jaw song. Jaw ain't getting on your song. Oh, you want to get on some down south stuff? Jaw don't do down south stuff. Oh, you want to get on some West Coast stuff? Do I really even mess with that cat? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You don't have too many, which might have also further led to the speed of the decline. You know what I mean? That that definitely could have led to how rapid the decline came. Maybe if Ja would have hopped on a joint with Nelly, that could have prolonged them. You know what I'm saying? If
And at the height of what they was doing, you would have thought that was inevitable.
hmm
You would have thought it was, but
I mean,
I'm like way glad it didn't though.
I mean,
Because somebody would have had to have actually spit bars instead of saying. Just
yeah,
saying.
and it's all that stuff is all that stuff is wild. Like we admit, we had trash moments during hot eras. We are
Oh
willing to,
yeah.
we are
Oh yeah.
fully willing to. We are not going to old man it and be like, oh no, everything back when we was in it like that was always fire. Now we had trash eras in the middle of that. Hell,
We got to do we got to do an episode on that too for sure.
the different eras. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hell, even the missteps of some of our quote unquote heroes during those eras, where it's just like, ooh,
Now that would be that's gonna be interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just I'll just say predicting the fall off based off of certain stuff people was doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Definitely.
ooh, yeah, that I I gonna have to monitor that one, man, because I still I got hot takes on stuff that have cats up there looking at me funny, man. Uh,
No, I
I'd be
do
worse than
too.
Joe. I'd be worse than Joe Budden with the hot takes on cats that I
Man,
actually got love for, man.
some of that stuff is fact though.
Yeah, because me and Eddie P went and bigged up an album that definitely aged like milk on my ears, man.
Bruh,
We
yes,
bigged
a
up
lot of stuff did not age well.
we. I don't even want to say it out loud, man, but I don't know. I am going to say it out loud. How did you feel about that Pete Rock and Common album?
I ain't even listened to it yet.
That says it all right there.
Yeah, it was like, dude, I didn't have the desire to listen to it. I was like, I gotta listen to it. And it was like, I'll do it later.
Yeah,
And the fact that I haven't heard nothing from it means that I kind of made the right decision.
dog. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. It wasn't.
Oh,
It didn't do what it's supposed to do, and we jump
crucial.
we had a whole what just happened.
I don't know what happened.
On
We
that
got
note,
the
we're gonna no,
you
I,
stupid.
no, we got a thunderstorm here that might have messed around and snatched the internet out for a hot
Okay.
second.
Okay.
But back to where we were going right here and wrapping it up. It's not hate for the other two like we're saying there. And the crazy part about it is as a if Drake would have stayed in Drake's lane, I wouldn't be victory dancing over this whole go down. Just like the fact of the matter is everybody that ran the LL ran over. I personally liked Hammer. I personally liked Ice T. I personally kept bumping Cool Mo D up through the end. You know what I'm saying? Cannabis, God bless you, brother. Thanks for the memories. Uh, you know, that was a bad showing, but even when he pops up and spits some fire, I like Cannabis, and I still like LL. What LL and Q-Tip are putting together right now is kind of crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to this project, which once again makes me look at that Common and Pete Rock project sideways. But we ain't gonna go there. But whatever the case being, if Drake would have stayed in his lane, he's got joints that even up into that last album that I like, because that joint with Conductor that he did, that what was that, 8 a.m. in Charlotte or whatever. That
That
joint,
shit was fire, bro.
that joint is hard.
That shit was stupid.
And the fact of the matter is, there's been a million and one cats that don't write their own rhymes that we still like.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not even a case of, oh, well, you don't like him because you found out he got a ghostwriter or whatever like that. You know how many cats that we either do know and don't even bother to talk about? Come on, Dre has never written a verse in his life. And cats still talk about the chronic and the way Dre sounded on this one. You can definitely I'm a Kanye fan, and we know you can definitely hear exactly who wrote his verses
Right.
when Ye is doing his thing. Not the case, dog. It is what it is. But
Right.
whatever said, we'll see how it turns out. Maybe dude can leverage it since 50 is jumping on his bandwagon so heavy. Maybe he'll work him into next season of Power or something like that, and he can get his acting career going on. Because right now, with music and the missteps that he's taking, working with Kamaya Caballo and everything else, and doing fake reggae covers and everything with the accent still, yeah, I don't see it. I think music is about over. But that's it for that one right there. Anything else you want to drop in and spit on this?
I mean, it's just far as with the whole LL thing, even with talking with the dudes that he had those past beefs with and everything, talking with those brothers, he was like, yeah, it was just, he was like, it wasn't nothing personal. It was just competition, which is
Mm-hmm.
what the sport of hip hop is. So even in that pettiness, he even knew that it was just competition.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah. Because the only person who hasn't necessarily buried the hatchet, but he hasn't buried the hatchet with 90% of the music industry is Hammer. But that's just Hammer is just like, you know what? Fuck all y'all because y'all's like,
But
fuck
at
me.
the yeah, that part I have to say because everybody was coming at him. I mean, shoot, if you had
Yeah,
people coming at you left and right at any given time, yeah, I would kind of feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
yeah. That's where you get that action at. He's like, fuck everybody because everybody's like, fuck me.
Yeah,
So feel it. And yeah, that's wild. And I do have to, on a slight bar, ending it off, have to give Hammer his props because if you didn't have Hammer in the game with doing such a huge stage show and everything like that, you would have not gotten how Outkast used to do their thing. Because Outkast feeling free to act more like Funkadelic than like a rap crew, have a full band out there, have backgrounders like that, or even when I look at a Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour, or even look at the To Pimp a Butterfly tour and seeing the dancers, seeing the bands and everything else, you would have not had a Kendrick feeling free to go into an actual production of
bruh.
sorts, more so than just a cat rhyming on stage like honestly, like LL and DMX did. You know what I'm saying?
You,
Two of the best to rock a stage solo.
oh no doubt, you wouldn't have that shit. You wouldn't have the Missy stage presence that you have and all that
Oh man,
creativity that you had, that she has. You wouldn't have half of the stuff that you have now as far as an actual stage show. I
yeah,
mean, shoot, and not even just that. On some realness, without Hammer, you would not have half of the endorsements that you got in hip hop. Period. Point fucking blank.
nah,
Real shit.
nah,
I mean, he might not have been the first to do a lot of these things, but he's the one to put them on the platform that they have been on a big platform, and
the
that's
so-
facts.
the soda endorsements, the cartoons, the LA Gears.
The cereal,
Yeah, I forgot about Hammer having a cereal. Yeah, exactly. That action is wild, man. That
real
action is
talk.
wild. So ending it off. Shout out to Hammer, man. Shout out to you too, bro. You know what I'm
Indeed,
saying?
indeed,
Peace to the funky headhunter.
and them high tech boots.
Oh yeah. All right. So this has been another handsome beatdown. We appreciate y'all checking us out. As
Word up.
always, it's been wonderful. Oh, by the way, shout out to my homegirl, Jimmy Pink, Nostalgia Mask. Hit me up. I know I can't get the whole shirt on here, but got me with the Ride or Die Throwback Bucks joint. See
That's
if I
what
can get a
up.
quick stand up here. Get
That's
it
what
on
up.
there. Yeah,
Oh,
this
that's
joint
fire.
fire. Yeah,
That's fire.
nostalgiamask.com. Go check her out. She'll
Indeed.
be up there making that heat. But we gonna
Word.
go ahead and get up out of here. Thank y'all for your time. Check out the Schwable Room. Like, share, subscribe. Keep coming back around. We love y'all.
Word
Peace.
up.